Ronan, are you excited it's Newt's day one? Yeah? What about you, Aoife? Are you excited for Newt's day one? Me too. Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda, and I am so excited that today, day one of the N.E.W.T.s Magical Readathon, year 2, is upon us. Last year I went for the career of a wand maker, and this year I decided to go for the career of a Magizoologist. And so I have for the month of August to read 7 books in order to pass my NEWTs. I have to get an outstanding in Care Magical Creatures, an exceeds expectations in Charms, and an exceeds expectations in Herbology. So yeah, not too bad. I think 7 is probably one of the middle of the road like book numbers for a lot of these careers. I'm not entirely sure what all of them are, but I'm really excited for Magizoologist. Hopefully I'll be able to tame my little beasties that you probably saw in the clip before this, because they need some work. But this morning I started listening to Mystic by Jason Denzel, and this is for my acceptable in herbology, which is to listen to an audiobook while we work with mandrakes, or as you can probably hear right now, my little beasties. I think a car or something just went by, so they're freaking out. But Mystic is a fantasy book that, oh, I can't remember if this one's a standalone or not. But we follow our main character, Palm. I think it's Pomona, or I can't remember what her like full name is, but I know she goes by Palm. And she has grown up as a commoner in her Baronland. I think they're barons that like rule over like a certain tract of land or whatever. And basically, it's only the like royal class that have this ability called mystics, to kind of like control the mist and other aspects and things like that. Our main character has always wanted to be a mystic. She grew up hearing stories from her grandma telling about just what the mystics do and other things like that. So, and she's always felt like she's had a little bit of an ability because she can see these like silvery ghost creatures that nobody else can see. So she ends up being chosen by one of the mystics to compete as like a champion, more or less, to become, I think, the next mystic. So right now, I believe we're at the beginning of the first trial, and there's 3 other people who are all like highborn people. They don't know that she's a commoner, and so it'll be interesting to see like what kind of trials they have to do, because the other 3 have all grown up kind of with these abilities and being taught how to harness them, and she has no idea. She can't even read like the royal runes or whatever they're called. So she's at a disadvantage, obviously, from these people. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm really liking the world building so far. You get a really good idea of what the characters are supposed to look like and just like what their surroundings look like. Only the highborn royals are allowed to, like the women are allowed to grow their hair long, and the lower class peasants are supposed to keep their hair short. And Palm is kind of trying to stretch the boundary of how long she can have her hair, so we know that she's got about shoulder length hair. She also doesn't really look like a lot of people that she lives near, because her grandma was from, I I think her grandma and grandpa were from another like kingdom or area. So she's described as having dark almond skin, and she meets a character who is also competing against her who has the same accent that her grandpa had. So it's kind of interesting to get a bit more of a description of what our character looks like and her surroundings and things like that. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I think it's like just over 9 hours, and if I can pull up Audible, I'm 3 hours in, so I only have 6.5 hours left. And I'm listening to it at like 1.2 or 1.25 speed. So if I don't finish that today, which there's a good chance I might, I will definitely finish it tomorrow. And then I also started my Care Magical Creatures Acceptable book, which is Adrift. This is a book that starts with the letter A for Aragog, who I hope to never meet. But Adrift is a true story, or based on a true story, about a man and woman who end up sailing a boat from New Zealand, Tahiti, somewhere in the South Pacific, back to San Diego. And during that time, they get caught in a storm, and the boat gets basically completely wrecked, and the man gets injured pretty severely, and she basically has to keep him alive, keep them alive, and find land. I know this has been made into a book. This is the movie cover tie-in, and it's got Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin. I think I put the L's in the right spot there. Basically, Tris and Finnick Odair, if we're meshing two dystopian young adult books characters. But this will be interesting. I've calculated for all the 7 books. I think it's something over 1,000 pages. It's almost 2,000. It's 1,803 pages that I'm going to have to read. And if I divide that by 31, that makes about 60 pages a day in order to finish all my physical books on time. I hope I can read more, because there are some other prompts and books within those prompts that I'd like to read as well. And I've also got some audiobooks, which I didn't factor in because it takes me a lot longer to get through a physical book than it does an audiobook. But that's about 60 pages a day if I just want to read I think 6 of my 7 books are physical books that I have to read to become a Magizoologist. And I'm already on page 16 of this book. It's going pretty quickly. You've got pictures in a lot of places, like one page is completely a picture, and before that you had basically half a page that was a picture. So I'm hoping to set a really good pace with this book and fly through it and set myself up well for the rest of the month. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm planning to post 2 vlogs during this readathon, one to go up like halfway through and the other to go up for the last half. So this will be about like a 2-week and change sort of vlog. I think it's actually 15 days that I have for this one and 16 for the next one. So this will be up sometime in the middle of the month, and hopefully we'll be doing a lot of fun things during that time. So that's all of an update I need to give you right now, because I've been rambling for a very long time. I am wearing my Ravenclaw tank top because I am in Ravenclaw house, and yeah, that's about it for right now. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and my mother-in-law bought me, well, she bought herself a kind of like crop top long sleeve Ravenclaw shirt that says platform 9 3/4, and so I think I'm finally going to be able to wear that tomorrow. She gave it to me last weekend, and it's summertime here in Washington, so not a lot of days where I can actually get to wearing that, and I want to wear it sometime soon. So I think because it's gonna rain tomorrow, that's what I'll wear, but I'll show you that tomorrow. So yeah, I'll probably update you later today once I get some more reading done, and if we do anything fun. I'm gonna try and make this more of a, like, less of a reading vlog, reading update, and more of like a life vlog, because it is the whole month. So I think it'd be fun to show you a little bit more of my life as well as what I'm reading. So I will check in with you all in a little bit. Alright, so it's actually a couple hours later at this point. I got caught up with things I needed to do and didn't have as much time on my lunch break as I was kind of planning to be able to film this little haul. So it was my birthday 2 days ago on July 30th. Neville Longbottom and I share a birthday, which is pretty cool. And a friend gave me an Amazon gift card for my birthday, so I bought a couple things. And it's mostly clothes in this package. I am trying to be more ethical and sustainable in my clothing buying, but it's hard when the prices are so expensive for them. And I was on the search for some very specific things. I wanted a jean jacket, and I wanted high-waisted swimsuit bottoms, because in the next vlog you'll see at the end of August, my friend and I are going to go float the Yakima River with her friend. So I wanted some high-waisted bottoms because all my bathing suits that I've ever bought have like the hipster bottoms, hugger, whatever. And I just want some high-waisted ones. So first thing I got, my Dumbledore's army of Funko Pops is growing at a ridiculous speed. I always buy the ones that are like pretty discounted. So I picked up the new Dumbledore, which is modeled after Jude Law from Fantastic Beasts, and he was probably like $5 or $6. I take them out of the package and I put them all on the top of my bookcase, but this is what he looks like. And I did get Neville yesterday, who was also fairly inexpensive. So I don't have like too many main characters. I've got, well, I'll show you when we're done here. I did get high-waisted swimsuit bottoms. Like I said, I am gonna have to try these on. Bottom in a large. They look pretty cute though. We'll see how that goes. I got, oh yeah, I bought some reusable produce bags as well, because I want to try and be a little more, a little less, I want to not use as much plastic. So I found these ones on Amazon. They're from Earthwise, and they're just a mesh, I think it's a nylon bag, and they're a fairly good size. There you go. And it came with, I thought they came different sizes, but maybe not, which is totally fine. I think there's like 10 of them though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It might be 10. I don't know. I just counted quickly. So I'm really excited about those. I got 2 bodysuits because I love bodysuits. So I got this kind of crimson maroon one. It's a tank top, but I figure it'll be nice for layering under high-waisted jeans and a cardigan for the fall. That's what's coming up. And I also bought it in black. They are ribbed, which is fine. And it does have the snap closure. And it looks like it's a full bottom, which is fine by me. I don't really care about underwear lines. And then the jean jacket. I got the jacket in a large just because I don't want to be like too restricted, but it's from Riders, which is a brand I'm kind of familiar with, but there's that. And I got it in kind of like a light wash denim. I've been really struggling during the summer to like have something nice to wear in the evening time over like summer dresses, because basically all I have are like lightweight sweatshirts and those just don't look very cute. So that's my itty bitty haul. I'll have more throughout the week to show you because since my birthday was at the start of this week, things are still going to be trickling in throughout this week and next week. But I'm going to go try these on, make sure they fit. Oh, first I'm going to show you my Funko Pops. Let's take Dumbledore with us and I'll flip you around here. All right. Out to the kitchen. Not kitchen, dining room. It's dark in here because this side of the house is facing the sun, so it gets pretty hot. But I've got Tom Riddle, Ginny, Ron, Cedric, Neville, Gilderoy, and then on this side I have Newt and Athestral, and now Dumbledore. And then I also have this music box that my friend bought me for my birthday that plays the Harry Potter theme song, which is pretty cool. But this is basically where I have all of my Harry Potter stuff. This is Skylar's set back here, and since we have 2 sets of the book, actually we have 3 sets of the books, I just put my History of Magic book in front of one of them. But yeah, those are my little Funko Pops. I do have some non-Harry Potter Funko Pops, but let's be honest, the Harry Potter ones are the best. So that is it for right now. I will get off this chair safely after I'm done with this clip. And then I think I'm going to film my plan with me for next week. So I'll probably continue listening to my book. And I don't know, I might have it finished today, especially since I'm going to have to go outside and water my plants tonight. We'll see. So I might have another update for you later today. If not, I will probably check in with you tomorrow. So I will check in with you at some point soon. Good afternoon. We are on day 2 of the N.E.W.T.s Magical Readathon, and I have officially finished a book. I finished Mystic this morning, which was my A for herbology. I'm giving it 2-star rating. The beginning of it started off really strong. I really enjoyed the atmosphere and world building of it. And at first I really liked the characters. We follow Pamela, and she is picked to be a contestant to be the next apprentice for the Mystic. And it's pretty odd because she's a commoner and only the royalty have the ability to harness the powers of the mist and things like that. And then the story kind of splits a little, so you're still following Pamela and you're following her village crush. What's his name? Stin? Something with an S. So their stories split a little bit and then come back together. I was kind of hoping, so there were 3 trials more or less to go through, like the decision of who gets to be Mystic, And I wanted more information with them and like for that to be developed a lot more, but it was just, the plot of this was just really simple and way too easy, and I feel like it could have been a lot better. So I was a little disappointed in it, and I'm not sure I'm going to continue on with this story. I kind of wrapped up the plot line pretty well, and then it seems like we're going to follow a little bit of a different path next. So I'm not sure. It's a trilogy, and the third book isn't even out yet. So I don't know what I want to do. I think for right now I'm going to put it down. So then for my Care of Magical Creatures acceptable prompt, I'm still reading Adrift, and I made it 90 pages last night. I almost got halfway. It would have been 115 would have been halfway, and I really did think about staying up to read to that point, but I didn't end up doing that because I figured I should get some proper amount of sleep. This is a pretty interesting story, and from what I saw of the movie trailer, it seems like it follows the storyline, but also there's a big piece of this that changes. So Tammy and her husband Richard have been commissioned basically to sail a boat from Tahiti to San Diego, and along the way they run into Hurricane Raymond, and it hits them, and her husband, I guess, probably goes overboard. We don't really know what happens to him. And then it's basically a story about her finding the will to survive even though the love of her life is now gone. The boat is destroyed, like destroyed. So she has to figure out how to make it safely to some port. In the movie, though, I believe Sam Claflin, who plays her husband, is just like seriously injured. And Shailene Wooley, who plays Tammy, has to keep him alive as well as get them safely to shore. But, I mean, unless her husband is just somewhere she hasn't looked yet, I don't think he is. I think he did pass away and went into the ocean. So that's pretty interesting story. Also really terrifying. The ocean's a really scary place. And then after I finished Mystic, I started another audiobook. So I started listening to Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare for my acceptable level of transfiguration, which is to read an LGBTQIA+ book, or a book that has that representation in it. And for that, everyone's favorite Mortal Instrument Warlock, Magnus Bane. Or Shadowhunter Warlock, but he's not a Shadowhunter. Anyway, you know what I mean. So I'm listening to that. And basically, I guess I'm kind of stuck now, but not really stuck. I don't know where I would go after I finish Clockwork Prince, because for herbology, I can... Oh, why didn't I try to find Atonement? I should have went for my Exceeds Expectations level for a book between 350 to 390 pages and found Atonement on audiobook, because I do own a physical copy of it and it's 351 pages. Maybe I have tried to find it and I couldn't find it. I don't know. So that's my reading update for right now. I got more mail today, and normally I would save this stuff for a planner, sticker, accessory, whatever haul. But I think I've decided that I want to just be able to put stuff away and not collect it on my desk until the end of the month. And it's kind of partially like more birthday related stuff. So first thing I got was inspired because I lent a book to a friend who ended up moving back home from the West Coast back home to the East Coast and took my book with her without asking. And she ended up damaging it. So I decided I wanted to buy a stamp. I'll show you the bag because you're not going to be, it'll be backwards on the stamp. But I bought it off Etsy, and it's a stamp that says, that's pretty blurry, but it says from the library of, and then you can put your name in, and I put my first and middle name in. And I thought this would be really cute to just stamp my name into all of the, this is what it looks like. All of the books that I'm like really, really fond of. I do unhaul pretty frequently, but like books that I love, one of the books I loved was the one that I lent to her. I think would be pretty cool to have that. It's kind of one of those things I've always wanted but never got because I couldn't really justify it, but decided to splurge a little for my birthday, I guess. And then I ordered from Simply Gilded, which is a washi shop, for my first time, and I got just a couple basics. This is the journaling card that came with it. It is, I think, rose gold. No, champagne gold. No, it is rose gold, foiled, and it says "Love you always," and it's got llamas on it. I think you always get a bow seal freebie, and this one is gray and gold. And then I bought some skinny washi. So, okay, the reason I was buying washi was because I have a wedding binder, and I wanted to kind of spice up the monthly spreads a little bit. So I got some washi to help with that. So I got this set of Stardust Storm washi, which has holographic foil and it's silver foil. There is a 10 millimeter, which is the top, and a 15 millimeter. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this, holding things up. I always have it facing down. So I got those just because I thought they were pretty. And I got this book washi, which I think is called, yeah, it's Antique Books 2.0 with gold foil. It's going to be really hard to see because it's pretty dark, but it's basically a bookshelf. And then I got 2 sets of mini bows. So one of them is the black tie, which has black and white with gold foil and silver foil, and then I got the Nightshade mini bows, which have, they're kind of jewel toned colors, so like a crimson, blue, green, and purple, with rose gold on the top 2 and hot gold on the bottom 2. So those. I'm not sure if I should come away from it or what. There we go. So that's my mini haul. I have quite a few chores to do now before the boys get home, so I'm gonna do that and continue listening to Clockwork Prince. I am 2.5 hours into it already. I had to go down to the office today and clean up a little because it was kind of left a mess from whoever was in there last. So I wanted to make sure it looked nice for when the managers were in next week. So that's what I did. I gave the dogs a bath and took them in with me so that they could dry and not be outside in the dirt. And yeah, that's what I did. So that's it for right now. I might check in a little later. Maybe not though. I might check in with you tomorrow when I go pick up my wedding dress. I'm taking my friend Bailey with me. She hasn't seen it yet. I mean, only my mom, Sky's mom and Sky's grandma, and my best friend and maid of honor, Ronnie, have seen it. And then I told Bailey she could go with me to see it or pick it up, and maybe I could try it on for her. And then we would go to, well, we'll probably go to Barnes & Noble first, because I don't really want an expensive wedding dress just sitting in my car hanging out. So anyway, I'll either check in with you later today or tomorrow. Good morning. Today is day 5 of the N.E.W.T.s, and I have made quite a bit of progress. I know it's been a couple days since I checked in, and I finished some books and started some new ones since then. So last I had checked in, I was still working on Adrift, which I have since finished. I am giving this a 4-star rating. It was a really interesting story about Tammy and her survival on a broken yacht, essentially. I thought it was really intriguing, just kind of like the internal struggle she went through as the days kept passing and as she was kind of living with survivor's guilt and things like that. This was really short and just really informative and an interesting story to tell. I couldn't even begin to think what I would do were I in her situation and having to survive a hurricane and a wrecked ship after losing the love of your life. It would be just so insane to have to go through that. But I really did enjoy this book. And I am looking forward to seeing how it was adapted into a movie, because in this story, her husband does, well, he's not her husband, he's her fiance. He does go overboard. But I believe in the movie adaptation, he gets injured, and I think she has to take care of him as they find a port that they can dock in and go on with life from there. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how it was adapted into a movie. But I would recommend this if you like more of kind of a biography and just stories of, I guess, adventure and the like. So read that for my acceptable level in Care of Magical Creatures, which was to read a book that begins with A for Aragog. Next book I finished was Mystic by Jason Denzel. This was my audiobook, which was the acceptable prompt for Herbology, just to listen to audiobooks so you don't hear the mandrake cry and get petrified, or not petrified, die if it's a grown mandrake, or passed out, knocked out essentially. And I ended up giving it a 2-star rating. I really liked the world building, and I think I did wrap this up a lot before. But like I said, I liked the world building, and then the story just, it had a lot of potential, and it just went downhill pretty quickly by the end. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue that story or not. I think I did tell you that it is so far a trilogy, and the 3rd book's not yet published. And then the next book I read was the Exceeds Expectations level for Care of Magical Creatures, which was to read a book with fewer than 300 pages. So yesterday I started and finished my first ever manga, which was Vampire Knight Volume 1. And my reading experience was pretty good with this, I think. I'm pretty sure I read it correctly. There was quite a bit of layering with the pages, so it made it a little confusing at first. But I think I got the hang of it pretty quickly. And it's a fun, interesting story. There was a lot of repetition in it, which I don't know if that's the norm for manga or if that was just this manga and kind of setting up the story and the tone of it. But I enjoyed it. It was kind of fun to be back in a story about vampires, and I will finish this. I think I have the first 7 volumes. So once I get to a prompt where I can squeeze in volume 2, I definitely will. This was 196 pages, I want to say, and it only took me maybe 2.5 hours to read, maybe 3 max, just to get into the swing of reading in a manga format. I did give it a 3-star rating. I thought it was pretty decent for what it was, and I am intrigued by the characters and their storylines, so it'll be fun to see how the story progresses. Sorry, it's not even 9 a.m. yet. And then I did start on audiobook Atonement by Ian McEwan. I'm on chapter 4 now, and so far I'm a little confused because of getting introduced to so many different characters. We mostly follow Bryony, who is a 13, 14-year-old girl who kind of lives a lot in her mind. She is really big on writing stories, writing novels, writing plays, and I think something happens with her cousins and their family where it's an older girl and then 2 younger boys. I can't remember if they're twins or not. But basically, like, she doesn't even let them settle in before she's like, you're going to be a part of my play, and this is how it's going to go, and this, that, and the other. And then I think her older sister is involved a little bit. There's a bit of an age gap. I know her sister Cecilia is kind of at this stage where, like, she's just now coming into her being treated as an adult and not really having to spend all her time in the nursery and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. I think I finally have the characters set now. I was confusing the older girl cousin with the older sister. So I think I've got them figured out now. So I'm sorry. We'll see how that goes. And then I also started Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare, which is the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I did put that down a bit because I'm about a third of the way through, and I am budding reading that with my friend Darshell. And she's physically reading it, and I'm listening to it via audiobook. That I am using as my Acceptable and Transfiguration, which is to read an LGBTQIA plus book, or a book that has that representation in it. So I put that down for a little bit, and I'm listening to Atonement more. And then I also started on my Kindle last night Spellslinger, which is the group book, and I'm reading that for my acceptable level in Charms, which is to read a book with a gorgeous color, and it does have a really beautiful cover. I'm 2 chapters into that. I just couldn't make myself stay up and read last night, so I'll make progress in that soon. That's my physical book I'm reading right now. So it'll be interesting to see what I'm able to start and finish this week. I did in our short week last week, because we started on Thursday? What day did the month start on? It's only been 5 days. I was able to start and finish 3 books, and then I started 3 more. So I'm hoping to keep up this pace. I only have to read 7 books total. But it'll be interesting to see what other prompts and subjects I can complete before the end of the month. So that's my update for right now. I'm gonna get back to the daily grind so that I can wake up more and stop yawning for you guys. I will have a little bit of a sticker haul to show you later, and yeah, that's basically it for right now. My shirt that I'm wearing right now is a tank top that says reading mode activated, and it's got Paige's shop character. His name is EXO. It's her dog. I think he's a Chiweenie, and it was like a Facebook sale last year so that you could buy this design and stuff. But that's basically all I want to do right now is read, and I actually have to work. So I'm going to get back to it, and I will check in with you probably later today, if not, hopefully tomorrow when I have more of an update. So we'll see when that comes, but I will check in with you in a little bit. All right, so I'm not back with another reading update, but I am back with a sticker haul. I've had a couple come in over the weekend, and today 2 more delivered. So first I'm going to start out with my Creating & Co haul. So she's got a readathon that is going on the same time as the N.E.W.T.s are going on. This is going to be held from, what is it, August 26th through September 1st, and it's called the Discover New Worlds Readathon. So it's kind of steampunk themed. I didn't get the sticker kit this time because I did want to do all Harry Potter kits for the whole month of August, but this is a journaling card that came with, and you can see from it what the artwork looks like. It's absolutely stunning. And then on the back, oh, she's got a little promo about it, and then just her social media stuff as well. I bought her bookmark that goes along with it, and it just says Discover New Worlds. It's like a library background with floating books and jars and things like that, and then just this background, which is very beautiful. I also got washi tape for it, which, let me grab some scissors and actually show you washi tape properly today. So she's been doing this line of like floating book washi. I think she's been calling it Book Lover. And this one has kind of an ombre effect to it that matches the kit. And she uses a like silver hollow pixie dust foil. So it's kind of got, it's going to be hard to see, but maybe if I put it down you can see. It's kind of got like the greens on the outside edges and the pink in the middle. So it's really pretty, kind of nice and neutral. And then Paige has also been doing enamel pins for each of her readathons. So this one's got a book with like a page rolling back or the cover rolling back, and you can see the gears and cogs and stuff. It's really beautiful. So far I've got all of them. Skylar just got home. So yeah, there's that. Hi.
How are you?
Good, I'm filming.
Okay.
And then I got this order from N.E.W.T.s that is sunflower themed. Oh, come on. If I thought about it, I would have unwrapped everything prior to filming, but I didn't think about it. I just turned on the camera, honestly. So I think this is the freebie that came with it, which is her rose gold foil, and it is just quarter boxes outlined with foil and her bow cut out, which those are going to be super useful. And then this is the kit I picked up. It is the sunflower kit, and it's got gold foil in it. I thought it was absolutely stunning and wanted to use it for basically the second week of September, because that is my best friend and her husband's, gosh, what wedding anniversary is it for them? 3rd, maybe? But, and sunflowers were a big part of her wedding, so that's why I wanted to include this. It's so pretty. Ugh, I love N.E.W.T.s kits. And I feel like they're super affordable for being foiled. And then a sneaky lady sent me, I'm assuming something for my birthday. This is from Darshell. That's not it. I'm saving that for if I ever ship off stickers again. So Let's see. Oh, she's just the sweetest. Darshella and I met because of Creating & Co. and our mutual love for planning and books, but she wrote a hooray thing here. So I'll read that off camera. And then it looks like she just sent some sticker sheets. Oh, I love that. That's really cute. It says, I never stop learning, for when we stop learning, we stop growing. So that's from River Street Stickers. I've never ordered from them before, but I do really like that. And then this is Darshell's, no, this isn't Darshell's freebie. This was the freebie that Sweet Quiet Design had for, I think, $2 Tuesday for the week of Harry Potter's birthday. I love this. That's so cute. My birthday's the day before Harry Potter, so I share mine with Neville, but I really love that. And then, oh, she saved me some stickers. So Darshell created a book club on Facebook, and she has started doing a book box like bi-monthly, and these are some of the stickers that came in her first book box. So you've got, it's books and planners related, because that's the two things she really loves. So you've got a sign up sticker, a box ship sticker, a box reveal. You can use Darshell's code, Darshell15, for 15% off your order at Little Pitty Paper. And then these stickers are for book discussions. So when we do the group read for the month, you can put that down and write in the time or whatever the book was. So these are really cool. I'm really excited for these. And then this is just a journaling card from Sweet Quiet Design that says make a splash, and it's got some of the little critters on it. And there's some info for where to find Sweet Quiet Design. And I think Darshell's a PR girl again. So I think you can use Darshell 10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. If not, I know that Kayla over at Whole Lotta Plans is a PR girl. So I believe if you use Kayla 10, you can get 10% off your order, but I'm not sure. I'll leave that information down below. But that's my little check-in for right now, which is just a little sticker haul. So I'm gonna go message Darshell right now and tell her thank you. But Darshell, if you're watching this, thank you again. You're the sweetest. So I'll check in with you guys here in a little bit. Hello again. It is now August 9th, so we are on day 9 of the N.E.W.T.s Readathon. And I finished another book today, finally. This one I was kind of slogging through a little bit, but also this past week at work, like the main reason I haven't checked in is because, not this past week at work, but I guess this past week at work, we are closing down my physical office location for work. So I have been busy with being with people, so not having time to listen to audiobooks, and then going out in the afternoon for like dinner and drinks and things like that. So I've been a little busy, haven't done a whole lot of reading, but I did finally finish Atonement by Ian McEwan. This was my Herbology Exceeds Expectations for, what was it? Not even ready here. For a book between 350 and 390 pages. My copy is 351 pages, and I did a listen to it as an audiobook on Scribd, but it counts for me. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I would really like to see it. And at first I really wasn't liking this book because I didn't like the character of Bryony, who we follow throughout. This kind of it's told in third person for most of the story except for the last part, which is then told in first person. And so we kind of follow different characters around, like Bryony and Cecilia and Robbie. And then it all kind of comes together at the end. So basically, the plot of this story is that Bryony at a young age witnesses Robbie and Cecilia kind of forming a relationship, but in her mind, she thinks it's not a relationship and that Robbie is trying to hurt Cecilia. Um, and so she ends up spinning this story that she thinks is true, and Robbie ends up in quite a bit of trouble for it. And then it's kind of how she's lived with that and how it has impacted multiple people's lives around her and not just hers and not just Robbie's. So at first I didn't like Bryony because I think she's 13 or 14. I think she's 13. And so it's very juvenile and very kind of annoying because she really is invested in like writing plays and stories, and she's just very in her own head. So she doesn't see the real world as it is. She sees it as she crafts this story in her mind. And it was a little obnoxious because if she had just, taken some time to talk to Cecilia or confront her about what she saw, then Cecilia would have been like, no, Bryony, it's okay. Like, nothing's going on that's inappropriate. So it could have saved a lot of people a lot of heartache and heartbreak and things like that. But then as she grows up, well, it's mostly you kind of meet her after you followed Robbie for a bit, and I really liked Robbie as a character. I thought Cecilia was a bit of a spoiled brat at some times, but I did really like Robbie. It's kind of interesting because I just read Dunkirk, which was the history behind the major motion picture, and during this book, Robbie does get enlisted in the British military. I don't think he's part of the Royal Air Force, or he might be a part of the British Expeditionary Force. Is that what it's called? BEF? But anyway, he does get orders to retreat to Dunkirk and be evacuated from Dunkirk. So it was kind of interesting that since I live in the US, I was born and raised in the US, and we're really not taught about Dunkirk in history because the US wasn't a part of the Second World War during that time. It was good to have the background of Dunkirk so that that information hit a lot harder for me, I guess you could say. So I did enjoy this. I liked the ending, I liked the plot, and I think the characters had a pretty interesting dynamic once we got past Bryony being so young and kind of intolerable. So 4 stars. It was kind of a low 4-star for me, but it was still 4-star rating. And then I picked up Clockwork Prince again, which is my acceptable level for Transfiguration. That's the one I'm buddy reading with my friend Darshell. I put it down for a while because she didn't have the audiobook anymore from her library, so she had to pick it up as a physical form, and I was quite a way ahead of her. So I decided to start and finish Atonement while she was catching up, and then she got ahead of me, and today she accidentally spoiled a little bit of the story for me, but it was fine, and I caught up to the point that she did spoil for me. So I think we're right about the same area now in the book, and so I'm going to keep listening to that. I do maybe want to pick up another audiobook. I'll have to figure out what I can read next. And I'm still working on Spellslinger on my Kindle, so I think that's my updates for right now. And I guess when I do decide on an audiobook, I'll let you know. And if I finish another book here within the next couple of days, I'll keep you updated, or if anything interesting happens. But for right now, I do have to leave the house and go pick up my brother's girlfriend at the airport. It's just down, one of the stops is just down the road from my house. So I'm gonna get her, take her to their house, and then come back, and I've got some videos to film and edit and upload. Excuse me. So I'm gonna go do that and then spend time with my doggies because I didn't get to see them a whole lot this week. So that's my plans for the evening. And I'll let you know if we decide to veg out on the couch and watch a movie, or if I pick up another book or what have you. So I will check in with you here in a little bit, hopefully. You guys got to see how loyal our dogs are. If one of us leaves, they stake out the chase and watch out the window. Are you waiting for Dad to get home? Did he leave? What about you, Ronan? You just hanging out, watching the world go by? Good afternoon. It is August 11th, so we are 11 days into the N.E.W.T.s now. Yesterday was the magical all-nighter, which I kind of participated in, but like not officially. I was reading Clockwork Prince via audiobook for most of the day as I was doing chores and stuff, and then I also started Beneath the Sugar Sky by Seanan McGuire. So update for today. I have been studying for part of the day and editing and uploading videos and doing other little things. So I haven't been reading a whole lot, but I did finish Clockwork Prince this morning. I had about 3 hours left of it maybe, and it was my acceptable for Transfiguration. Which isn't a subject I actually need. But I did finish it. I ended up giving it a 3-star rating. I liked it better than Clockwork Angel. But my big thing was there was a love triangle in it, which I guess like was kind of expected and kind of knew there would be. But at the same time, it's still kind of obnoxious. I won't say who the love triangle is between, just in case you haven't read the series and you don't want to be spoiled. But other than that, we learned more about the Shadowhunter world. More aspects of the story were connected back to the original Mortal Instruments trilogy. And I am looking forward to seeing how Clockwork Princess wraps everything up. And Darshell and I actually decided yesterday that we would read Clockwork Princess for the Discover New Worlds readathon that is hosted by Paige over at Creating & Co. That takes place from August 26th through September 1st. So I'm gonna mix that vlog in with the second half of this vlog, so they'll just be side by side, because a lot of the books I'm gonna read, well, I have 3 picked out for that readathon that will all fit into prompts within this readathon. So I finished Clockwork Prince and I liked it. Looking forward to seeing where that goes. And then I started, actually I guess I'll give an update first on, I'm still reading Spellslinger on my Kindle. It's going, I'm about 18% in right now, I think, and I like it, but it's just kind of slow going for me, and I guess I'm not really like leaning towards picking it up. I think I just need to like get back into it and read a good chunk of it at one time. That way I can like get going again. So it's alright, but I'm still not apt towards picking it up. So I did decide to pick up Beneath the Sugar Sky by Seanan McGuire, which is the 3rd book in the Wayward Children series. This is 174 pages, and I made it to page 70 last night before I decided I needed sleep. This is for black cover underneath the dust jacket, and for the acceptable prompt for Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is again a book that I don't need, but since I'm done with my audiobooks and I can't fit in an audiobook for the prompts I have left, like that I need to do, I did want to read this. That way I can read the E and O for Defense Against the Dark Arts on audiobook. So I'm probably gonna start my Exceeds Expectation book for Defense Against the Dark Arts tomorrow, which is gonna be The Painted Girls, which for that prompt it's Gilderoy's Memory Charm, so the first book on your TBR that came to mind, and that was it for me. So I'm really liking being back in the world with this book. I'm liking that we're back at the school and that characters we met in the first book are being reintroduced, and we're also getting new characters as well. I liked Every Heart a Dory better than I liked Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and I thought it would be different because I thought I would really like to be in the world, but I also felt like Sean McGuire's opinions were just too much in Down Among the Sticks and Bones, so it really pulled me away from the story. But I do like this book a little better, though things are just super convenient, which I guess kind of makes sense because it's a short story, so things have to move at quick pace. I also just noticed this has purple foiling on the spine, and that's really pretty. But yeah, so far I'm liking the story. I'm hoping to finish it today, and then I'll be able to update you all tomorrow on what I feel about the rest of the book. So far at the end of week 2, I finished 5 books, and I'm currently working on 2. So I still need my Outstanding for Care of Magical Creatures, and then I need both my A and E still for Charms. But I finished my Herbology off, which is great. So right now I am going to go hang out with Skylar in the living room. I might read, but I think I'm also going to work on setting up my, what is it called? My Traveler's Notebook for fall, because I'm kind of sick of... I always do this, but I'm sick of the summer theme that I have going on right now, so I'm ready for a change, and I'm ready for fall. Especially because I rained yesterday and it just sprinkled today. It's kind of overcast and a little gloomy, so I'm ready for a bit of a change. So that's it for right now, and I will check in with you here maybe later today, if not definitely tomorrow. Alright, so I got another order in, and this time it was from Scribble Prints Co. This is the journaling card that came with it. I think that's gorgeous, and I think I'll probably be able to put it in for like my Halloween or fall spread in my planner. It's just blank on the back. But somebody used my referral link, and so I had $5, so I bought her white and gold bow washi, and then I also bought her Christmas bundle that was discounted, and it was a set of 4 washies. Sorry for all the crinkling. So there's more bow washi. This color is like a red crimson and a dark green. And then there are this gold washi, well, gold foiled. It's a plaid, and then this other one has kind of ornaments and things on it. Let me open these and I'll lay them out here and show you what they look like. Alright, so they're there. We've got the white and gold, the green and gold, the plaid and gold, the Christmas ornament in gold, and then the red, crimson, and gold. Very pretty, and I'm really looking forward to using them for Christmas time. Do you guys remember that time at the beginning of this reading vlog when I said I was going to try and make this interesting? Sorry, I haven't done that yet. I've pretty much been in the same spot with my hair the same way. And I'm sorry, but it just happens to be that way. Hopefully next vlog will be more entertaining because it's gonna have tea time with Debbie Maycumber, and I'm floating the Yakima River with my best friend and a couple of her like close family friends and family mates. So we'll see. But I have another reading update. It is day 12 of the readathon, which is also my good friend Sarah's birthday. She is a fellow Harry Potter lover, and she's in Gryffindor House. Last year when I was in Austin for work, I saw Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald with her at a really cool theater. If you've ever been in Austin, or maybe they're all over Texas, the Alamo Drafthouse is like the epitome of the perfect theater because you get food delivered to your seat, and it's really awesome. But reading update. So last night I finished Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire. This was my acceptable for Defense Against the Dark Arts, which was to read a book with black underneath the gist jacket, and I showed you yesterday it was naked. I put the jacket back on because I don't like to read hardbacks with the jackets on. I don't like to read them with the jackets on. So I really enjoyed this book. I was a little disappointed at the end of Down Among the Sticks and Bones that maybe this series just wasn't for me, but I really liked that this book brought us back to the school, and it brought us back to some of the old characters we had known before. I like series because I like to get to know characters for a long time. I don't like to just be introduced and then be done with them. So it was really good to like have Cade in here again, and some other characters like Christopher and stuff. And I thought it was really fun that this was a split between Miss Eleanor's Home for Wayward Children, like time at the home for the kids, and time in some other lands. We got to travel to a couple different lands and actually like see inside them, and it was cool because you get to go to a logical land and a nonsense land, and like you can read about the concepts within the story, but to actually, or like within the separate books, but to actually have them kind of compared to each other side by side was really cool. Whenever I read these books, I try to think like, would I fit into that world? Would I fit into this world? So I know for sure I would be a logical world type of person. Just the Land of Confection, which is the nonsense world, like the description of it made my teeth hurt so bad. I could not live in a nonsense world, or a world that was like entirely built off of baking and candy and confections and sweets and things. I think the land I like the most so far is probably Cora's land, which is, she's a mermaid, and I want to be a mermaid. But other than that, like Cade is from a goblin market, and to be in a land where there's war 24/7 doesn't sound like fun. There's also Nancy's world, which is the kind of like an underworld, but I forget what hers is called, which is also a logical world. So is Cade's, but I couldn't stand still for that long. Like I have to be doing something. Christopher's world, which is also logical, I wouldn't like because I like to see and learn about like Dia de los Muertos, but I don't think I would really enjoy being surrounded by skeletons all the time. And then there's also Nadia, who's from a logical world as well, and she's from the undrowned, or the drowned. She's a drowned girl, which I don't entirely know what that means. Whether her world is like completely underwater or if it's just by water. And then we've also got Confection, which is a nonsense world, and it just sounds like No, no, thank you. But I thought this was a lot of fun. I thought the atmosphere was really good. The world building was great for such a short book. Like I said, just the descriptions and imagery of confection, like physically made my teeth hurt, and you have to have good world building to be able to do that. I like the characters that we got to learn more about characters we were introduced to in the past. Also brought in a couple new characters. I thought their dynamic was pretty good. It didn't it wasn't too easy, which it kind of has to be a little easy for such a short book because you don't have that time to develop the relationships and things like that. And plot was all right. Writing style was just all right. So, but I was intrigued the entire way through. I mean, I finished it in 2 days. I read most of my physical book time is read at night. So a book like this, which is 174 pages, I could power through in one sitting, but because I read in bed at night, it takes me a little longer to get through physical books because I am tired. So, another one to check off the list, which brings me to a total of, oh, and I don't need Defense Against the Dark Arts. I just wanted to unlock it the next level in Defense Against the Dark Arts so I could start listening to a book, which was Gilderoy's Memory Charm, and it was the first book you thought about on your TBR. So I started reading The Painted Girls by, I think it's Kathy Murray Buchanan. This is a book I've had on my shelves for a couple of years now. I bought it in like the bargain bin section at Barnes & Noble. And I'm listening to it through my library. It's like a 12-hour audiobook, and I am 3.5 hours in with 8 hours and 43 minutes left. So that puts me at page 102 right now. So I'm there, as you can see. And I'm liking it so far. It's told from two different perspectives. You have two sisters. So it's a family that lives in Paris. The father has passed away. He was sick. And the mother is kind of just drowning her sorrows in an absinthe bottle. You have three sisters. Antoinette is the oldest, Marie is the middle, and Charlotte, I think it's Charlotte, is the youngest. And then this story is told from the point of views of Antoinette and Marie. Antoinette was a dancer, and because of her mouth and sass, she got kicked out of the ballet school, and doesn't have a chance now to like rise up in the ranks of the ballet corps. And then Marie, her father's wish for her was to become a scholar. And after he passed away, like dancers make quite a bit of money. So her sister, well, the mom made Antoinette take Marie and Charlotte to see her old like dancing professor, the headmaster of the school. Essentially, he's not a headmaster. And he brought both girls into the ballet school. So Marie is kind of working her way through that. She's also met a painter who paints the ballerinas. And so there's stuff going on with that. And Antoinette has started a relationship with this boy that she met who the sisters don't like. And he doesn't seem like a great person. So it'll be interesting to see how the events change and shape each sister and if it affects their relationship and things like that. So that puts me at like a third of the way through maybe. I'm not sure I'm going to listen to any more today. I kind of need a break because I was starting to drift. So I've gone to listening to watching YouTube videos and catching up on those. I'm also still working on Spellslinger, and now that I finish Beneath the Sugar Sky, that'll be my physical read again. I just, like I said, wanted to unlock a level so that I could listen to more audiobooks. And then today I got some owl posts from the lovely G, our developer of this fantastic readathon. she created some bookmarks for herself to start out, and then she was really excited about the way they turned out, so asked if anybody wanted to purchase them. So she reopened her Etsy shop. She used to have an Etsy shop called Burning Fiction, but I think once she got her job with Fairy Loot, I'm pretty sure she closed down the shop. So she no longer makes candles, but she did, I'm trying to put these in alphabetical order while trying to talk to you. She did have her designs created and printed on a thick cardstock so that she could share them with everybody, which is pretty cool. So I was stalking her Instagram stories, waiting for these to be released again, and she released them not last week, but I think the week before, and I was able to get my hands on them. So I just want to show you, in case you haven't seen them, they are, like I said, printed on a really nice cardstock, but they're not too thick, and they've got this like parchment feel to them. So this is the first one. It says Silence Newts in Progress, and you've got an ink pot with a quill, and on the back they all have the Magical Readathon logo. This is the one for Ancient Runes. And then the one for Arithmancy. And Astronomy. There, I need to hold them up a little more. And then Care of Magical Creatures. Oh my gosh, I love the Niffler and Picket on this one. And then Charms. You've got Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is the stag. Divination. They all have the same design of the moon phases at the top too. And then this is, I didn't read what that one was, Herbology, and a Mandrake. Then you've got History of Magic, which this is really cool. You kind of can see, there's kind of really light white text in the parchment there, which is pretty cool. There's no way I can read that. Muggle Studies, which has the infamous Arthur Weasley quote of, "What exactly is the function of a rubber duck?" I love that. Potions. And then the last one is Transfiguration. So you've got your little Harry Scabbers mug there. But these are such beautiful quality, and I'm really excited. Even though they're late for me, I still got them before the halfway point of the readathon, so I'm excited to use these in my physical books. Not that I'm reading a physical book that needs a bookmark right now, but when I do pick one up, I will be sure to use these. So love these, and I'm excited to use them in the next Magical Readathon editions and additions as well. So that's my update for right now. This has been a long rambly one. I will hopefully check back in with you again later today. If I read more of the Painted Girls or any more of Spellslinger, maybe I'll get off my lazy bum and take the dogs for a walk. I'm not sure. We'll see. But if I don't check in with you today, I will hopefully check in with you tomorrow. So I will see you in a little bit for you, and who knows when for me. I walked out to the living room to find a little one sitting on the ottoman, not even on the chase, and she was hidden behind the curtain, like that. But she has since uncovered herself. Why do you keep laying here? You're almost too big. How about you, big puppy dog? You guys just watching the world go by? Why do you look like you're in trouble? Dogs are ridiculous, you guys. Have you been working hard all day, Ronan? Alright, I'm making some cocoa because I'm hungry, but I don't really want to eat. I just want to drink cocoa. Everybody, so I don't have much of a reading update for anyone today. I have gotten quite a bit further in the Painted Girls. I think I've got like 4 hours left, so I'm gonna have a chance to listen to that on my drive to my violin lesson today. And I'll definitely finish it by tomorrow. And then I think I'm gonna start my outstanding for Defense Against the Dark Arts. Like I've said multiple times, I don't need Defense Against the Dark Arts to be a Magizoologist, but it was just an easy subject to do because I had one small book to read for The Acceptable and then 2 audiobooks for Exceeds Expectations and Outstanding. So that will be that. And then I did read a bit more of Spellslinger last night. So I am probably 24% of the way in by now, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but I want to try and be done with it by the end of this weekend, so by Sunday night at the latest, because I do want to spend next week reading, oh gosh, what's the Fallen Kingdoms, the first book in Fallen Kingdom series, and Vampire Knight Volume 2. So that way I can wrap up all of my N.E.W.T.s levels that I need to be a Magizoologist. And then, not tomorrow, but the following week, the Discover New Worlds Readathon, hosted by Paige over at Creating & Co. starts. And it's just a week-long readathon that is kind of like steampunk themed. So I've got 3 books picked out for that. One is another buddy read with my friend Darshell, and then the other 2 are books I had picked for the N.E.W.T.s. So it kind of fits perfectly just to have the 2 readathons run parallel to each other, and I can still use the same books. It's not like I have to have a different TBR or anything for that. Ronan's pacing because he saw that I took my violin to the door. So I'm gonna let the dogs out, and then I have to leave in about a half hour. we have officially hit the 2-week mark now for the readathon. It is August 14th, and today I am going to end this first readathon vlog and then pick back up tomorrow for the end of the month. But I did finish another book this morning. I finished The Painted Girls by Kathy Marie Buchanan, and I think I knew at one point, but I didn't remember until seeing the author's note at the end that this story is kind of a fictionalized story of two real girls, Marie and Antoinette Van Gotham. So I think that added quite a bit to the story, just knowing that and kind of being able to, I guess, apply that filter at the end. But I enjoyed this, but there were also parts of it that I didn't enjoy. One of the main ones was that there is a section of animal cruelty in here, and it's brought up a couple times towards the end, or like at the end of the book. It happens around the middle, and I really wasn't expecting it, and it just kind of colored my perception of the book a bit. I'm not one of those people that can distance myself from fictionalized writing or anything like that when an animal is injured, especially when it's a dog. So because of that, I think that really definitely colored the way I read the rest of the book and just my overall rating at the end. But I did think this was interesting for what it was. It is very historical, set in 1880 something, 1878 in Paris. And you follow the lives of the Van Gotham sisters after their father passes away from an illness, I believe. And their mother is a laundress who basically puts all of her money towards absinthe. So the girls have to start working at a fairly young age. Mari was supposed to be kind of like a scholar, but she ends up going to the she ends up going to the opera house to study ballet, and so does the youngest sister, Charlotte. Antoinette was already kicked out of it, so she can't go back, and she's kind of doing things here and there. So Marie does end up moving up in ranks a bit at the ballet school, and Antoinette gets a part in a play, and she meets this boy named Emile who is not a good character at all. He's a really bad person, really bad influence, and Antoinette is pretty blinded by that. Marie is not. So it's kind of a story of family and growing up, a story definitely of sisters and relationships like that, and then also just kind of, I guess, having the child veil lifted from your eyes and realizing what the world is really like. So I did give this a high 3-star rating, but it was a 3-star rating, and it was alright, like I said, for what it was. So there's another one done. This was my E in Transfiguration, which was to read a book, and not Transfiguration, I meant Defense Against the Dark Arts. It was Gilderoy's Memory Charm, so the first book that you thought about on your TBR list. So I've read 7 books total now. 4 of them go towards the career that I am pursuing, which is Magizoologist, and the other 3 are just ones that I've picked up because I've had time. They're mostly, not mostly, they are all audiobooks, so that helps. And then I have been reading Spellslinger. I think I told you yesterday that I'm planning to have that finished by Sunday. So I read a couple chapters last night, and that also had a moment of animal cruelty in it, and I hope it doesn't continue throughout the series because it was a dog again, and just 2 instances of dogs being harmed in one day was not very fun to read about. So we'll see how that goes, but the story, the plot line is really progressing and getting more advanced and stuff, so I am interested to see where it goes with Kellen and his family and Farius and the magic and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for a reading update. I probably won't read again until I'm in bed anyway, so this vlog will be edited and uploaded before then, so I won't check in again. But I did get a package from Barnes & Noble because they had 3 for $20 on their Funko Pops, and I ended up getting 6 because there were also some that were like really discounted. So 2 of them arrived today. I think I mentioned before too, I don't really go for the main characters. I always go for random ones. And probably because like the main characters have so many different variations that I don't know which one to pick. But this one is the Bloody Baron. He's my first ghost, and I think these guys are so cool. Like, they actually aren't 100% opaque, and they're just gray and funny looking. So I got him. Oh, he's a little top heavy. I'll have to lean him against my shelf. Yep. And then I also got another Fantastic Beasts character, which apparently this one is the 2019 Summer Convention Limited Edition exclusive one. But I got N.E.W.T.s, and I prefer her as the human versus the snake because I feel like the snake version doesn't look a whole lot like the N.E.W.T. that I always envisioned when I was reading the books. So these are my 2 newest, and yeah, gotta go find them a home now. So I'm gonna do that. You can come with me while I do that. Alright, so I moved them down a little bit, but there's Bloody Bear in there. And then my Fantastic Beasts ones are over here. So N.E.W.T.s by Dumbledore at the moment. You look a little concerned that I'm up here on this chair, Ronan. Or are you more concerned that Dad just left? That's probably it. So, that is everything for this portion of the readathon. Ooh, I don't know if you just heard that, but that was my knee from stepping off the chair. So, I'm gonna continue working and get on with my day. What are you doing, puppy? Are you pacing? And yeah, I'd love to know about your progress for the first half of your readathon. So let me know what your favorite book has been so far, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Say bye, puppies!